Selectman Achinsky had an item that he would like to put forth.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What I'd like to do is I'd like to make the motion, and Selectman Dracut has indicated that he'll second the motion, and then I have just a few short remarks. I would like to make the motion that we name the Selectmen's Meeting Room located in the new Town Hall building at 62 Arlington Street, Dracut, Mass., after Douglas G. Willett, in memoriam, to be referred to henceforth as the Douglas G. Willett Memorial Selectmen's Chambers. And I'd just like to make if I can get a second, I'd like to make a few.
I'll second it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Joe. It is not only my pleasure, but it is my honor to propose naming the new Selectmen's Chambers after Selectman Doug Willett. Although some of our current members may not remember Doug, I can assure you that in this town, in my 30 years that I've been around, I have met no one that loved this town more than Doug Willett. He was a blue-collar guy, like most of the people in our blue-collar town. After working at H.P. Hood for 30 years, he took on his second career, working at the Greater Lowell Oak as a janitor, where he worked for another 27 years, and then he decided to retire at 87 years old. Amazingly, at age 53, now listen up, at age 53, he decided to become a selectman and was known as Dracut's only 24-hour-a-day selectman. You could call Dougie at any time of the day or the night. You'd get Dougie or Barbara, and he would try to help you with your issue. He was rewarded for his efforts of helping the people by being elected for 10 consecutive terms, accumulating to one of the longest-serving selectmen in our town's history. Madam Chair, members of the board, tonight, on the 5th anniversary of his passing, we have the opportunity to bring a little bit of the past forward into our new town hall, which represents the future. It is an opportunity to recognize a truly wonderful example of what public service is all about, and to thank his family for the sacrifices that they made during his 30 years as a selectman. And I urge you to support this motion, basically because it's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. That was very nice.
Very well done by Tony.
Very nice.
I mean, I was a neighbor of Dougie for over 50 years, and he was just dedicated to the town. I think it's fitting. It's a good thing for the remembrance. As Tony said, that some of them on the board probably never got a chance to know him.
Yeah.
They were little kids then. But anyway, like I said, I'm all for supporting this.
That's great.
One of my favorite memories of Doug is right shortly after my grandfather died. Dougie came over in his farmer jeans, and we had a nice visit on the farm. And God, at one point, he looked out over the farm, and for a minute, I almost thought it was my grandfather, just the profile of him on the farm. But he was just a wonderful, wonderful man.
And Joe, I know
I
you
think
were
he went to every wake with those jeans as well.
I think so, yeah.
Every Dracut president that passed on.
I know you were his neighbor. I mean, who in town has never received a tomato from Dougie? He had a beautiful, beautiful garden.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. No, I think it would be a lovely tribute, and I enjoyed Dougie immensely, and I'm sure everyone did that got to meet him. But.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take a vote.
So we have a motion. We have a second. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Great, so we will keep the family informed as to when that will occur. It would be nice to have a family member present when the plaque goes up, so we will certainly keep that informed, keep the folks informed. Okay, Mr. Dracut.
Yeah, I have one as well. I think Dennis Piendak has probably done more for this town than I can remember of the hours and whatever he's put in over his 25 years plus. I mean, just think of the things that he's built, fire stations, a library, a police station. He was the one that set up this, really, the town hall was his to get moving. He kept Dracut afloat for all these years. I mean, we went through some good times and we went through some real bad times. So it wasn't really that easy on him. I mean, he had some tough decisions to make. I mean, we had some layoffs at one point. Those bothered him tremendously. I can remember him saying one time he would retire before he would do that again. But anyway, I think it's fitting that I would like to name the upstairs conference room at the new town hall, the Dennis E. Piendak Conference Room. And hopefully that I'll have the support of the board.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Great.
I know as, in the past, certainly, Jim, your predecessor was incredibly well-known, obviously, and I know sometimes it might feel like big shoes to fill. I think you're doing just fine.
Oh,
But
thank you.
But Dennis really was, in terms of my experience on the board with him for 3.5 years, he was a great mentor, he was a great friend, and I knew if I had a question, I never hesitated to call him, and he was very kind to me as the newbie on the board, and very good to me in that regard, and so I've always appreciated his wisdom and his knowledge, and certainly his ability to make me not get too nervous when I had to speak in front of all the men on the board.
Yeah, I had worked on both sides of the table from him, and there were a lot of decisions that I saw later that he made. He didn't have a choice. He made them. I mean, I know that was his job, but he wasn't comfortable in a lot of things when it came to making sacrifices as far as salaries, wages, or whatever it might be. A lot of people may not believe that, but it's true. I think he was a real asset to our town, and one we should remember for a long time.
Madam Chair, if I may, just as I'm out and about and talking to residents and businesses and things of that nature, many people have remarked and basically have made the same remark that Dennis did a fantastic job for the town, and it was something that the big shoes to be filled, and so they'll hopefully, I'll be here for the next 26 years, 25, 26 years, but it's going to be it's a tough act to follow, I'll tell you that. And he's been very supportive to me, and has made it perfectly known that need anything, open door, I can pick up the phone anytime. So it's comforting. This town is very, very lucky.
He was, I think I'm the only blow-in on the board, not an original Dracut resident. When I first got on the finance committee, I didn't realize how big Dracut was, so Dennis offered to give me a tour, but he picked up Louise Tremblay on the way because he didn't want people to talk that he was driving. So he gave me a tour of Dracut when I first got on the board.
Louise probably narrated the whole tour, right? Dennis just drove.
Well, he certainly is deserving of recognition for sure, so, okay. So that was your motion? and
Yes, it was.
Is that a second? And
Tammy
any
seconded.
further discussion? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's see, okay. And then I brought this on the agenda just because of the discussions regarding Dougie, certainly Dennis, and then obviously the gentleman and that we talked about this evening, gave the citations to. I mean, clearly, Dracut is a town where people invest in. I'm looking at Mike over here, he's been with us for a long, long time. And Glenn has been with us for a long, long time, and Jim has been with us for a long, long time. I mean, people stay in this town, I think, because it's a great place to be. It's a great place to live, and I think the fact that we have so many people who have given 30 years of their lives, or close to this town is actually fairly remarkable. And when I go through different events in different towns and talk to different people as your chairman and different things with Glenn in terms of certainly the pipeline has expanded our friendships across the state. The one thing that people say about Dracut is, gosh, people never leave. No, they don't. And that's okay. That's okay, because we benefit
Some
from...
say that about their children.
Well, this is true. This is true. But we benefit from that wisdom, we benefit from that collective experience. I'm looking at Leo's been with us for a long time, and people have given their blood, sweat, and tears to this town, and I think that's pretty impressive for a town and for a board to appreciate and be able to appreciate that. I mean, Joe, you've been with this town in different capacities for a long time. Long time, a few years. You remember the mini golf at the ice cream stand.
I do, I did, I told you.
And just to set the record straight,
Yes.
Ally, I'm a blow-in.
Oh, you are?
I blew in 40 years ago.
Oh, okay. You got a couple years on me still.
So in that vein, I feel like we should, clearly, obviously Dougie and Dennis's places should be of honor and specific, but I also think we should do something in recognition of long-term employees in general. And my kids were in Boy Scouts, and the Eagle Courts, the different, I don't know if you guys have been to Eagle Courts. I know Tammy's been to a couple, right? And I know you've been to a few. You move the Boy Scout ranks from the 10 to the 5 to the 20, and they move along. And I just sort of envision some kind of a plaque where maybe we start, for folks who have had some kind of relevance to the new town hall and the new town hall process, because I think if we go back to 1701, it would be a long list. Well, maybe not, I don't know. But if we do something in regards to maybe the past, 2 or 3 years when the town hall project really was up and running, and go forward, I'm thinking people like Barbara. She's probably going to shoot me if she's watching, but Barbara certainly has given, 30 years of her time as our secretary on the board.
Got a guy like Hector Verby, I think he put over 45 years
Yeah.
in.
I mean, there's lots of people. I think, I would like to see some kind of a tribute, and I don't know what that would exactly look like, because I think if we start thinking about the list, it's going to be fairly extensive. But I guess my thinking is, would the board be supportive in maybe thinking about names or thinking about folks, and maybe in the next week or so submitting those to myself and Mr. Duggan, and maybe we can talk with the staff over at the town hall and see how we can incorporate a plaque for long-term employees. And I think 30 is probably a good number. Just an idea. I just, or 25. I mean, I'm open to suggestions, so I mean, open to a start date, open to whatever. But I think it's a tribute to Dracut, and I think people would be impressed. And, I know the people in the business community, they're always surprised when employees are there for 30 years. We look at Market Basket, right? What an example of loyalty. Those people were since they were bagging, and they were managers now. I mean, but the reason why Market Basket got so much traction is that doesn't happen in business. That doesn't happen in jobs anymore. People don't stay. And I think, we really need to be proud of ourselves.
I agree, Kathy. I envision some type of a plaque right at the front door, the first thing you see when you walk into the town hall, and we're all on board. We appreciate our town employees, and we certainly appreciate the employees that have dedicated their whole life to this town. So I'd be happy to give my suggestions.
Okay. So maybe, would that be okay with everybody to kind of go through thinking, historically kind of thinking back? Do we want to think of when do we want to say
You
it
want to
started?
cut off 30-plus years, or 25-plus years, or?
30, how about 30 years prior to the opening of Town Hall? Because those people have actually done
You know what,
that since-
I'd like to think about it, because
Yeah,
I
think
don't want to
about
make a
that.
rash decision and cut somebody out,
Well, it doesn't have to. I think what you probably means is, we start at that, and we just see how many names you got, and then
Right.
maybe if there isn't, maybe we drop down a little bit lower, maybe something like that. I mean, we're not etched in stone to do.
No, I don't
We
think
can do
so,
whatever
no.
we want.
No, I'd be open to whatever, but I think where the paintings aren't up yet and we have chances to put things up, we should be. And with
Yeah, I
any
mean, we're
luck,
gonna raise-
it'll be an extensive list.
Yeah.
Right, Mike? You'll be on it. Okay.
Yeah, I
All
think
right,
it's a
so
good
let's
idea.
think about that and then kind of keep people appraised as we make progress. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right.